All right, let's talk about motivation. We're going to dive into Steve Chandler's amazing book, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. But, instead of trying to cover all 100 ways, we're going to zero in on just one. One single, powerful idea that can completely change how you tackle any challenge you face. It's all about the art of making your preparation harder than the actual event. And honestly, it's a mindset that the world's most elite performers live by.
This quote from the Navy SEALs just says it all, doesn't it? It's the core idea right there. The whole point is to embrace the tough stuff during practice, so when the real thing comes along, that big presentation, the final competition, that difficult conversation you've been putting off, it actually feels, easy, because you've already been through worse.
So, to really see how this plays out, we're going to kick things off with a fantastic story from the author himself, Steve Chandler. It goes all the way back to his time playing Little League with his buddy, Rhett Nichols. This is actually where he first saw this whole principle in action.
Okay, so picture this. These aren't just any kids' games. They're in a super competitive league, and the pitchers they're up against are huge and, frankly, terrifying. The baseballs are just rocketing in so fast that batting isn't fun anymore. It turned into this source of dread, where you're just hoping you don't look like a fool up at the plate.
Now, this is where things get interesting. While pretty much everyone else is just complaining about how fast the pitchers are, Rhett just totally reframes the problem. Instead of whining about the game being too hard, he asks a different question. What if we could make our practice even harder? It's such a simple but absolutely brilliant flip of the script.
So the first big roadblock is pretty obvious, right? None of their friends can throw a real baseball faster than the best pitchers in the league. Of course not. But Rhett, he's already a step ahead. When Steve brings up this problem, Rhett just smiles. He knew exactly what they were going to do, and it didn't involve a baseball at all.
And the solution was pure genius. Rhett pulls out this tiny plastic golf ball with holes in it, like a wiffle ball, but way smaller. By pitching this tiny, light ball from way closer than normal, they created a practice situation that was just insanely harder than any real game. I mean, the ball wasn't just faster, it was moving all over the place, totally unpredictable.
And the result? This is the magic moment. After practicing against this ridiculously fast, curving plastic ball, they get to their next game. And suddenly, those intimidating pitchers, the real baseballs, looked like they were floating in slow motion. Their brains had completely recalibrated what fast meant. And that day, Steve Chandler hit his first and only Little League home run. But come on, this isn't just a cute story about kids playing baseball. This exact same strategy is the secret weapon used by the most elite performers in the world. It's how they get that mental edge when the stakes are highest. And you can't find a better example than the legend himself, Muhammad Ali. He didn't just go through the motions in practice. He was incredibly strategic about it. He intentionally made his preparation tougher so that the actual fight felt like the easy part.
So here's how he did it. It was like a system. Before a huge fight, Ali's team would figure out his opponent's number one weapon. Maybe it's a killer left hook or super fast footwork. Then he'd go find sparring partners who were even better than his opponent in that one specific skill. So by the time he got in the ring, he already knew he'd faced worse. He walked in with total confidence.
Okay, so this works for kids, it works for world champion boxers, but what about for us? Well, the beautiful thing about this idea is that anybody, and I mean anybody, can use it to build confidence and crush whatever challenge is in front of them.
And that really brings us to the core lesson from Chandler's book. It doesn't matter what you're facing, a big speech, a tough job interview, maybe running your first 5K. You always have the power to create a practice version that is intentionally harder. You can always stage a bigger battle for yourself.
So, here's your playbook. It's super simple. First, figure out what your game day is. Then just brainstorm ways to make the practice harder. Got a 10-minute presentation? Practice a 15-minute version. Worried about getting tough questions after? Get a friend to absolutely grill you with the meanest, hardest questions they can think of. Then you just got to do it. And trust me, you'll walk into the real thing feeling like you've got this.
Let's give this idea a name so we remember it. Let's call it sweating in peace. It's that conscious choice to do the really hard work up front when nobody's watching and the stakes are low, so you can perform with way less stress and way more confidence when it really matters.
Which leaves us with one final and really the most important question. Think about what's next for you. What's that next challenge on your calendar? What bigger, tougher battle are you going to create for yourself in practice so you can walk into the real event and see that challenge as a big, slow, white balloon just waiting for you to knock it out of the park?